Hey everybody, so if you are a parent and you're trying to wean your child off of screen time, this might be the solution for you. In this video, I'm going to be doing an honest review about this right here, which is known as the Q Pad or a screenless educational pad by the company KiaJoy. So stay tuned and we're gonna dive a little bit deeper and I'm gonna tell you what I honestly think about this screenless option for your child. So let's get a little bit more close and personal with the Q Pad. So as you can see, as printed on the box, this Q Pad comes with 40 different lessons. It also has the option for bilingual learning, which is both English and Spanish. It also has over 1,300 sounds and melodies and 3 songs, as well as 70 games that your child can play. So let's crack this open and see what it looks like. So as you can see here, it's a very simple structure. It's like a plastic case on it already, so you don't have to worry about your child breaking it if they drop it or throw it. It is actually pretty durable. Also, it's very simple. It just has a simple on-off switch. In the box, you're also going to find tons of these lesson cards. And I mean, there are so many different lesson cards that you can do with your child to teach them so many things. So I'll just give you a few examples. I won't go through all of them because there's tons, but there's a card called Emotion and Exercise. There's Seasons and Weather, Numbers, Months and Time, different types of vehicles, different words your child can learn about related to going to the park or in their bathroom or things on a farm or even the alphabet, the fire station, and just so many different options. And it is very versatile in the fact that it offers plenty of learning opportunities, especially for language and words and things of that nature. Now the setup is pretty simple. All you do is take whichever card you choose and have your little one to slide it in the slit at the top, and it slides in just like that.
Please touch the function icons to play.
So as you see here, there are different icons at the bottom of each of the cards. So this one is going to be to switch languages. This one is going to be more language and word learning. This is more music and sounds. And these last two are for games. It does allow your child to play different games with each card. Now I definitely could get into this and just show you guys how it works, but I figured I would have a little special guest of mine give it a go instead. So let's just see how she responded and reacted to this cute. So as you guys just saw, I had the little one, my niece, test it out and kind of play around with it to just kind of see how she would respond or react to it. And she seemed to take to it. It just wasn't like animated and like full of things that a lot of young toddlers these days are used to, especially if they're used to like screen time or using the phone or whatever have you. Like a lot of these kids, especially younger kids, are used to things that like really light up and capture their attention. And if not, I feel like it's something that an adult would really have to sit down with the child to really navigate this toy. So that's not necessarily a bad thing though, because The purpose of screen time sometimes is to kind of be a babysitter, which is not always good, but at the same time, I get where you're coming from, and no judgment here, because sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But if you are a parent out there and you're looking to wean your child off of screen time, then I do think that the Q-Pad is a great option for them, because it's still educational and it's still helping them to learn a lot of things, but it's without that constant feedback from the screen, which can sometimes be addicting for young kids. So I do applaud the Q-Pad for that, for it being a screenless and an educational option. Also, I do applaud the fact that it is bilingual. So it's for children that speak English, it's for children that speak Spanish, or if you want to teach your child the opposite language, it's great for that too. Also, because I'm an occupational therapist and I work with children all the time on child development and different developmental skills, I also have to point out the positive skills that this toy does address. So it definitely addresses those fine motor skills, so having to put the cards in and out, having to push the buttons, and that's great for isolation of the fingers or for your child learning how to point. So that is great for that set of skills. It's also great for eye-hand coordination and auditory processing and language processing. So for example, on the toy, when you hear a sound or you hear the word, you have to scan it and find it and then push it. So it's bring a lot of those skills together. So I feel like this toy is great for just working on some of those foundational developmental skills, whether it's fine motor, language, visual motor, visual scanning, language processing, auditory processing. It kind of brings it all together. So one of the really big positives that I really enjoy about this toy is the variety of lessons that your child can learn from it. Like I said before, there are so many categories that this toy really addresses. So you can learn about seasons, weather, you can learn about things at the park, things at the beach, you can learn about cars, numbers, alphabet, animals, dinosaurs, and the list just goes on and on and on. So I do think that is very good for learning language and learning different words and identifying objects and just building up your child's vocabulary. And also, as I said before, it's durable, it's made out of plastic, so you don't have to worry about the screen being broken because there is no screen. So it's definitely something safe that your child can use over and over and over again without you having to worry about them breaking anything. So the first thing is not really a con, but it is something that I feel like you should know if you're going to purchase it. It does not come with batteries, so it's up to you to purchase the batteries separately, which is fine, no big deal. They are 2 AAA batteries, so very simple to find, and they go right here in this slit on the back. You will need like a screwdriver or something to take the batteries in and out back here, but other than that, I mean, that's no big deal. Just wanted to let you know that you will need to get your own batteries. So now moving into some of the things that I actually do think can be improved. So one thing about this Q-Pad is that at the bottom, as I showed you earlier, there are different icons depending on what you all want to do with it or what your child wants to do with it. So this button right here is actually the one that changes from English to Spanish and vice versa. And I feel like that can be a little bit confusing for kids because let's just say they are an English speaker or a Spanish speaker and they accidentally press this button while they're playing, it's going to automatically switch the language and it may be a little bit confusing for them. Now, if you're targeting helping them to learn 2 languages, it can be beneficial, but you're gonna definitely have to kind of sit there and be with them in order for them to truly understand what it is that they're supposed to be doing. So if I could personally change one thing, I probably wouldn't put like the English Spanish button right here with the rest of the icons because it can be confusing if it keeps switching languages back and forth. I probably would have put maybe like an English Spanish button maybe on the side or just somewhere else that is not so easy for the child to push. Another thing that you have to be careful of is that sometimes this card here can slide out easily, so you have to make sure that you have it pushed all the way in, like these black lines here, technically should not be showing. So you want to make sure you only see the strip at the bottom, or you don't see those black and white lines at the bottom. So sometimes if your child is playing and that is not all the way pushed in, it can easily slide out. But if it's all the way pushed in, you should have no problem. Another thing that I was kind of iffy about is that sometimes when you push the actual picture, it will name whatever the object is, but sometimes you have to press the actual little sound icon in order for it to verbalize what the object is. So just watch this.
Recorder.
So that time I pushed the actual picture and it said what it was. That time, it's not doing it, but if I press the little icon,
Flute.
then it does it. So if I'm just pushing the picture, see how it's not necessarily telling me what it is until I press the green icon?
Foggy.
You just have to be very careful if you're playing with this, or if your child is going to be playing with this. This is definitely something, like if you definitely want to target language and learning, you probably have to actually be sitting there with them. Otherwise, they'll probably just be pushing buttons and have no idea what's going on. So be mindful that your little one will actually have to push the little icons by them. So I think it's just a little bit sensitive in that area, but overall the function and the purpose of it is definitely well thought out. And the last thing that I want to point out that you should just be mindful of is that on each one of the cards there is like a little witch icon. It's just hidden on all of the cards, and if your child finds it, this is what happens.
Let's follow my mom and read all the words on this card. Mirror. Tab.
So as you can see, if you press the little witch, it starts to kind of read all of the words that's on the cue pad. So let me know what you guys think after hearing about all the pros and a few things that I feel like maybe could be enhanced a little bit to make it a little bit more functional and simpler for children to use. Let me know your thoughts. Is this something that you would purchase for your child? Do you like the idea of a screenless educational pad for your child? Do you think this is a great substitution to help your child wean away from screen time and move into something that's still educational but without the screens? Now, obviously this is something you would have to get for yourself to test it out with your child, but in my opinion, I do believe that this is a great option to substitute for screen time. It's also a great way to help your child wean off of screen time, and it's cute because it's still in the shape of a tablet or like a traditional iPad, but instead of the screen, they get tons of different learning lessons and learning activities to engage with. So I do believe that the pros for this toy definitely outweigh the cons, and I do believe that this is a toy that you'll definitely have to sit with your child, especially if they're really young, like 2 to 4. They may need your assistance with kind of navigating the buttons and things like that. But children that are between like 5 to 6 should be able to pretty much understand how to navigate it. So I do believe that children between 2 to 6 can definitely benefit from something like this. So if you're interested in learning more about this particular toy, or you're interested in maybe getting one for your child or another loved one that you have, I will definitely leave the information in the description box below. So let me know your thoughts. And until next time, bye.